Hey everybody, sorry I wasn't there today. I hope this helps you. If not, you can send me a message and I'll try to answer it right away, all right? Let's talk a little bit. Those terms on the top of this sheet, all right? Those are things you should have looked up if you didn't know what it was, right? I guarantee the National Bank and the financial plan of Hamilton is going to be on this quiz, all right? We want to talk about the Federalist Party. Remember what Federalists believed in? They believed in a strong central government, all right? Whiskey Rebellion, that was a test on the national government, very similar to Shays Rebellion. All right. Judiciary Act of 1789, you should know it in relation to Marbury versus Madison, the Supreme Court decision that we talked about. During Washington's farewell address, he warned us about alliances, trying to stay out of world affairs, right? Remember, Europe's always in a war, and America needs to concentrate on business, on making money, bringing new money into the country. All right. We talk about two-term presidencies. That was another precedent that he set until Roosevelt broke it in the 1940s. All right, and then eventually it became the 25th Amendment. We're talking about factions, and those were the divisions between the political parties. Democratic Republicans versus Federalists. You should remember that, okay? During Adams' presidency, you should have looked up the Alien and Sedition Acts. We went very quickly through them. They were going to lock up people based on how, if they were talking bad about Adams' presidency. All right, the XYZ affair, we watched that little cartoon on it, okay? And that was all about French wanting a bribe, not respecting us as a country. During Jefferson's presidency, the Louisiana Purchase, the big deal, right? Why did he do it? Why did he go against his values? Okay. And definitely Marbury versus Madison and the significance of it, which is what's right underneath it, judicial review. Okay. The Embargo Act of 1807, remember we talked about that as being the real down point of Jefferson's administration. It basically only hurt the United States. It did not hurt the two intended targets of France and England. All right. We go through these questions on here real quick. Washington's presidency. What precedents did Washington establish as the first president of the United States? We talked about them. The cabinet, executive privilege, and the two-term limit originally were the first two, okay? His cabinet, right? They definitely differed on opinions. You had the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans under Jefferson. Jefferson believed in a strong state government, keeping the power with the people. He also looked toward the agricultural as the way to make money or a way for this country to advance. He wasn't looking for the merchants, the people of the North, okay? That's how their opinions differed and how they interpreted the Constitution. Remember, Federalists interpret it very loosely, right? A lot of gray area in the Constitution. And the Jeffersonian Democrats believe a very strict view of the Constitution and black and white, right? You should know Hamilton's economic plan, right? Assumption of state debt, a whiskey tax, and tariffs, okay? How did the French Revolution affect the United States? It sort of divided the country, right? You had people who wanted to back the French because they helped us in the American Revolution, and then you had people that wanted us to stay away from it, more like the Federalists, stay out of this. We're in the business to make money. All right? What was the result of the Whiskey Rebellion? Showed the strength of the national government, that everybody had to follow the law. What did Washington mention in his farewell address? I already talked about that. What were the major issues? We did this, we did that. Why was the election of 1800 considered a revolution? It's because what's going on right now, we're not seeing it yet. We will, but we're looking for the precedent set by Jefferson, or by Adams and Jefferson, of the peaceful transfer of power. Remember, Adams didn't even go to Jefferson's inauguration. If you've been watching the news, they've been mentioning that all over it. So I was like, oh, my kids probably got that. Anyways, that's that. We're talking about Marbury versus Madison and judicial review. If you remember judicial review, it was never mentioned in the Constitution, but it was something that Chief Justice Marshall wanted. He took his time. He realized that he needed to make sure that the court was strong and that it was an equal partner in the government. Okay, so judicial review just interprets the laws, interprets court cases or what was ruled, and they base it on the Constitution. I mean, that's judicial review, is interpreting the law and seeing if it's constitutional. Okay, why did Jefferson make the Louisiana Purchase? How do you not, right? I mean, that's a good deal by today's standards. Lewis and Clark's trip was important because they're looking for that waterway. They wanted to make sure we could get to the Atlantic, to the Pacific, right? Explore what was there. And we talked about the Embargo Act. All right, that's the video. If you have any questions, you can send me a message. I hope it was helpful. If I went too fast or I don't look like Mr. Schnitzler, like I take my hat off. Okay, look, it's not a mask. I'll put a mask on. This is what I look like normal. This is my backyard. It's just a lot of trees. And I had to do this twice because my dog, Bauer, a lab, is real barky and he's staring at me through the window of the house. My other dog, she's over here. She's good. She doesn't bark. All right. Have a great day. Bye.